hello to anybody who's watching this video at another time. Those of us who are here, let's find a comfortable seat. So I happen to have yoga blocks around because I'm a yoga teacher, but if you don't have a yoga block, or if you find you need something to sit on when you're sitting, it's always, you know, a towel wrapping a dictionary could work, or just some kind of, or a meditation pillow, or whatever you want to call it, a seat, something that helps you support yourself so you can have a pelvic tilt that's neutral, meaning that you allow, that your pelvic tilt can allow your low back to have its curves, low back, mid back, upper back, into the neck is all considered. We want that, those curves to be natural, nothing straight, but a nice alignment where you have kind of a springy quality to your spine, a capacity to move in multiple directions. And in that regard, let's go ahead and find a comfortable reach of their arms to the sides, and then take them up high to the sky, and then drop your left arm slowly down, and just notice what your right side is doing to keep that right side long and reaching as you drop the left. And then bring your left arm back up high to match the right, and see how that symmetrical energy feels differently, and drop your right arm down and just keep reaching your left. Hi, Kim, welcome. And then rise your right arm back up. Very good. And then we're going to take a twist to the right. Can you take both arms out wide to the sides, or rather one front, one back as you turn right? Maybe your hands just touch ground, left hand forward to the knees, right hand behind your hips, and then float your arms back up as you face forward on an inhale, and then rotate left and slowly float your hands down, left arm behind you, right hand in front of you, and then inhale back up. Facing forward. Let's do that 2 more times on each side. So exhale down, inhale up. Do your own timing. Maybe close your eyes just to feel out what sensations are arising as you move, as your breath might be able to coordinate with the movement. Your exhale turns you to the side. Your inhale turns you back to center with your arms going overhead. Go slow enough that it's a bit of a challenge, and that your attention, because it's so slow, has to be in your body. If you start to move faster, your mind might feel it's free to go anywhere else. Move slow enough that you kind of have to keep your attention on the movement and the breath and the challenge, if there is any piece of challenge in there. When you get back to center, whenever you're done, go ahead and take your hands back down to the midline, right into your heart. And you can have your eyes still closed, or close them once you get there. And relax your shoulders. Maybe bob your head a little left and right. Release any tensions in your neck, jaw, behind your eyes, in your skull, in your brain, in your scalp. And see if you can become a little more fluid, softer, more fluid, like a dry sponge taking on water, filling up, getting bigger and softer at the same time. Take a few moments here. Settle into gravity. Come in contact with all of yourself, or as much of yourself as you can be aware of. So consider the parts that you may not be happy with, the parts that you are super happy with, and anything in between. And just cultivate a compassionate container for all of it. Consider you have access to a witnessing part of yourself that accepts everything in yourself. Nothing pushed out or rejected or ignored or denied. That all the parts have their function and process for making your unique path. consider what might energize those parts together. So it could be a spiritual practice, or it could be something worth dedicating your practice to, is what I'm aiming at. And as I've mentioned recently in the past, I've been using indicators like what brings love into your life, or gratitude, or wonder. Those things may be the things worth dedicating your practice to. They help bring all the parts together in you. And then let's chant 3 ohms. Inhale. Take a deep inhale through your nose, fill up everywhere you can. Exhale through your mouth. Once you're done with that inhale, try and keep it slow, almost like a whispered om. When you get as empty as you can be, inhale again through your nose, slow, like a whispered om, inhaling. When you're full, exhale again, whispered om. Give yourself one more slow breath on your own pace. Indulge it. Go ahead and release your hands and open your eyes. Come out of your seat. Let's start on our backs today. So I'm going to turn over, get the little camera on me a little bit more. So turn over onto your back and just hug your knees to your chest. And holding your kneecaps, we'll just do a little extension and bending first. Holding kneecaps, extending and bending at the knees. Lying on your back and trying to rest your weight into your pelvis, letting your low back take the weight, meaning just not straining in your shoulders, neck, or jaw, or belly even too much. When you extend your legs the next time to the sky, just point and flex your feet. And then undulate your feet, and I'll try and get my feet nice and close to the screen so you can see. So we're going to reach up and activate, reaching up, grabbing an imaginary twine or plucking an imaginary string, and grab it and pull it back with your ankles flexing. So you reach out, open toes, grab, pull back, and then open toes. Reach out, grab the toes into fist. And then we'll reverse that. I'm not sure if we did this last week or not. I've been doing it a little bit in my classes a bit. So now it's like we're sending our toes high with the extending ankles, squeezing toes together, open toes at the top, flex the ankles back with the toes open, then engage your toes into a fist, extend with the toes in a fist, then open the toes at the top, flex the ankles back. So lots of burning possibly in those ankles, shins, and calves, which is okay. Then rotate, pronate, supinate those soles of the feet towards each other and away from each other. And then, like you're trying to clap your feet together, even extend the legs and do a little clapping like you're trying to. And then pronate or supinate. The other way, reach through the big toe side and pull the back edges of the pinky toe side out towards your shins. Then relax that, grab your knees and pull them towards your chest wide and circle your ankles there in a wide-kneed position on your back. Then rock a little left and right with those wide knees. Then extend your legs and clasp your hands behind your head. Extending legs towards the ceiling. Rise your heart up and your head up and bicycle your legs with your hands behind your head here. Try to go slow and big. So if there's room to go bigger, extending way out over the full length of the mat if you're on one or whatever, go for it if your low back stays put and not arching deeply up off the ground. Raise your shoulder blades if you can off the ground and twist towards the left as you're bicycling. Keep your shoulder blades off. Your chest is just turning left. I'm sorry, I should turn left as you're bicycling. Maybe your elbows are wide still, which may help make it harder for your core. Can you lift your left shoulder blade off the ground even as you're turned left? Good, bicycle right, or rather turn right, bicycle straight. See if you can lift your right shoulder blade off the ground, even as you're turned right. So turn more right, then lift right shoulder blade, then turn more right, then left right shoulder blade. So keep working as much depth as you can into that. Turn back to center, reach your arms up parallel to each other, rising chest, bicycling legs. As always, taking breaks when you need to, when it's in any way overwhelming system. Go ahead and release. Take your knees wide again towards your shoulders. Flatten your spine on the ground. Circle ankles again. Take some breaths. Set the soles of your feet together. Take your hands possibly around the two edges of the outer feet there and rock left and right with a sort of bound angle position here. Soles of the feet together first. Then open the feet wide to a happy baby type pose. Pull those feet right down over your knees and breathe. So your shin bones are perpendicular to the ground as best you can muster. And then if you want to stretch out your toes here, I kind of enjoy a little work with my toes here. So could pull the toes back, the heels of your hands, pulling those toes back. So the work that we did in those pronating, supinating, and all the things, you might rock your ankles this way and just stretch, pulling the heels, pulling those toes back with the heels of your hands. And then going the other way, rolling the toes towards the sole of the foot, pointing your feet and rocking a little left and right with that, manipulating with your hands. So you're not just using muscle in your feet, but actually trying to find different places in those feet that you can massage out, really is what I'm looking for. And then release that and go back up to the sky with your arms alongside your hips. Keeping your legs together, can we circle our legs a little over our hips there in a cone shape, right? Your pelvis is the base of the cone. Legs creating more and more of a circle over the hips. Slow. Belly engaged, always stabilizing. If you want to go big, but don't threaten your low back. And if this is a bit too much for your low back, have your knees bent and it may be a little bit kinder to your low back. Go the other way in that cone shape. Take your time. So I'm not trying to build momentum. In fact, less momentum. And the arms should be helping as little as possible. And then release your feet to the ground and extend your legs long on the ground. Reach your arms along your ears and extend one big long line stretching. Feel free to arch your low back up off the ground and then walk your shoulders off to the right with your hands following that. Walk your heels to the right so you're in a crescent shape, stretching that left side of your body. Feel free to cross your left ankle over your right to just emphasize that more so. Clasping your hands may also help, like creating a Charlie's Angels pointing of fingers there with the hands clasped. And then switch sides. Walk your heels to the left, your shoulders to the left, your hands following the arc that's happening, and the rest of that spine. So long reach, crescent shape on the right side. Right ankle may cross the left ankle. Keeping your right hip and right shoulder glued to the ground. So you're finding true side bend here. Come back to center, hug your knees to your chest. And with your knees hugging in your chest, rock front to back on your spine, maybe rocking all the way up to a balance in your seat, and then back to your shoulder blades. And then once you get up to a balance in your seat the next time, stay in that balance. We'll play with boat pose. Lift your legs, heart, holding the legs to start. If your low back needs that support, please honor that. If it's available to take your arms wide and up, feel free to raise your legs and arms. Boat pose. Hold for a couple more breaths. And then place your feet on the ground, hands to knees, lengthen spine up. And then clasp one wrist with the other hand and just rest here. So just round out your back. See if you can imagine resting every muscle in your body except for that one hand holding the other wrist, right? So your knees are braced against the inner elbows, thereby the arms can rest with the knees holding them wide, and the knees can rest into those arms. Spine can rest, inner thighs can rest, neck can rest, jaw can rest, feet can rest, calves, hamstrings, glutes, all can rest possibly. Hip flexors rest, belly rests. Collapse evermore. And then release that, sit up, extend your legs wide in a V. Soften those knees first. Bend your knees and grab the ground with your heels, pulling it towards your sitting bones. In this way, your pelvis will go from a rounded, possibly rounded position to a lift in the low back, right? So you grab the ground and that pulls your pelvis slightly into forward bend. Then keep that energy and fold down inside those legs. If you happen to be super flexy bendy, it may be a better challenge for you to try and keep your keep rounding your low back a little. Hug your belly into your low back, and as you go forward, engage that belly into low back. Hug the thigh bones into the hip sockets. Activate the muscles, hugging onto the bones that they are surrounding. So we're active forward bending here. Your knees may be staying bent or straightening, but not just for the hamstring stretch. If you don't need extra hamstring stretch, don't need to do it. Maybe it's more about activating. Couple breaths there in this wide-legged forward bend. Consider keeping those toes pointing straight to the sky, flexed ankles, knees pointing straight to the sky. Now, staying in this for a moment, can you isometrically close the gap between your heels? You're not going to move your feet. You're just activating the inner thighs as though you're trying to close the V. And you're pulling the ground towards your sitting bones at the same time. So you're activating muscles around the hip sockets, inside, upper, and hamstring. Real hug into the pelvis from the legs. Good, go ahead and sit up, clasp behind your thighs, lean back, bring your knees up again, and go to boat pose again. Lengthen spine. You can hold here, or again, let go. And if you're in boat and you want to do a little paddling, paddle hands to the left and then to the right, and see if you can keep your legs totally still. Turn as much as you can, the heart left and right. Again, similar to that bicycling legs twist. Turning your heart more will give you more core practice. Give it a couple more paddles left and right. And again, feet to the floor, lengthen spine up, wide knees. Here, lean back off your knees and hang off your knees, reaching your tailbone between your legs. And a nice deep rounding stretch to the back body. Diving your chin to your sternum even, and shoulders away from your ears. And sit up and swivel your legs around. Let's go to a hands and knees position. And once you're there, we'll play with a simple cat-cow position. So arching and rounding, slow. Just a couple times, but potent, present. Make it worthwhile if we're just doing 3. And then turn your toes under in the back and drop your hips towards your heels and reach your arms long in this slightly arched back looking forward. And send your arms as far away from the outer hips or forward from your sitting bones as possible, I should say. Yeah, so we're stretching long here. Then what we're going to do is slide our heart forward low to the ground. And once our heart gets about to the right above the thumbs, dive up into cow pose. This is an inhale. Then turn it all over, round your back, dive your chin to your sternum, and go through cat pose as you drop your hips back towards your heels until you elongate your spine again. Then lift your eyes, look forward, slowly slide your heart forward until it's about the thumbs, and then dive up. Inhale, round back. Now that you have the pattern, do it on your own. Maybe your eyes could be closed 3 more times. After your last one and your hips going back over your heels, look forward and then just launch forward to plank pose. Swivel your heels to the left, bend your knees. See if you can slide your hips back low over your heels. Twisted launching pad and then launch to plank. Swivel your heels the other way, bend your knees, reach your hips back towards your heels in this short pouncing position, launch forward to plank, back and forth, heels going one way as the knees go the other way. Stretching out the sides of the body. If this is a lot for your wrists and arms, you could be on forearms and it will be a different experience, but still some of the same action. Complete the next one and then drop your knees nice and wide. Big toes go together in the back. Drop your hips back to short prostration. So we're here with wide knees. And walk your hands to the right and get a stretch in your left waist. Nice wide legs, heart facing the floor. Now turn your heart left and right if you like to get a little more connection in that low back or stretch. So you're side bending right and turning, rotating heart left to right. Then walk your hands to the left and do a similar rotation if that's okay for your back and SI joint. Side bending, rotating at the same time, left and right. Come back to center with those hands, up to hands and knees. Make your way to down dog when you're ready. Paddle those heels. Good. Just wanting to work out the side bodies a little more, even still, or stretch. So when you're in down dog the next time, bend your left knee and swivel your hips left and then reach your right hip higher. Push into your hands to reach that right hip way high. The swivel will look like this, right hip reaching high from down dog. Left hip may be tucking under the right hip quite a bit. And then swivel the other way, bend your right knee, reach your left hip high, push through your arms. Swivel the other way. And one more time. Walk your hands forward to the front of the mat for a forward bend. Take your hands underneath your kneecaps, lift your heart halfway, inhale, it's a half forward bend, and then a forward fold, exhale, go back and forth 2 more times, slow, unfurling long in the spine. You might have your eyes closed once you get the idea of half forward bend to forward bend, back and forth. Next time you get to your half forward bend, stay in your half forward bend. Soften your knees and hug your hamstrings onto your backs of your legs. So a little soft knee helps you activate the backs of the legs. Hugging hamstrings strong onto the backs of the legs. That may stabilize everything from your sitting bones down. You may be able to unweight your arms and take them wide. Also, your belly has to work here. Good. Soaring here, look straight down. But squeeze shoulder blades together. Maybe your arms rise a little bit more, but not the hands, more than the shoulders as best you can. Even try softening your elbows and finding more of a gull wing action to squeeze your shoulder blades together more in the back. One more breath. Bend your knees a lot, drop your hips quite low, and take your arms forward with your palms facing up. So it's a squat, possibly hips as high as the knees, or rather as low as the knees. Stay here, another breath, reaching straight out. And then launch up, push your palms back, lift your heart, inhale. Exhale, squat and reach your palms forward, facing up. Inhale, launch up, push your palms back, lifting your heart. Exhale, squat, reach your arms forward, palms up. 2 more, inhale, launch. Exhale, squat and reach. Inhale, launch. Exhale, squat and reach. Now stay in this squat. Take your left arm back and turn, open to the left. Good. Walk your arms the other way. Right arm forward, left arm forward, right arm back. Turn, open to the right. One more time. Swing your arms along your hips. Turn to the left. Good. Swing the other way. Keep your hips where they are as best you can, not swinging opposite. So hips are square. Once you've turned right the next time, take your right arm to match. Stand up, reach up. And take your hands to your heart. Shrug your shoulders out. Good. Hands to your hips, march your knees. Slow. Fight for your balance. Well, fight, engage with, negotiate, dialogue with gravity here. When you lift your right knee the next time, when you get it up there, swing your right knee left and right and let your right foot follow, trail the knee. In this way, we're getting external rotation with the leg going out, internal rotation with the leg going in. Try to keep your balance, obviously, on the left leg. That's part of the game. Keep your left knee soft, generally, to keep your balance, a little more access above and below the knee. Good work, Kim. Now bring it center and get it as high as you can towards your chest. Squeeze your belly. Very good. Take your arms wide. Get taller through the left heel. Good. Take the knee wide. Keep your arms wide. Imagine you're standing your right foot on a high stair or box. Put your right foot flexed and imagine pushing down on that box to even get taller. Very good. Swing it back to center and step it down. Release your arms, shake it off. Hands to hips, lift your left knee. Swing your left knee left and right, slow. Let your foot follow. Get an internal, external rotation by doing this sort of lazy sway. Of course, your right hip will get some work here because we're doing so much challenging of its stability. Good. One or two more. Try not to do it necessarily the way I do it, but how much can you get internal, external rotation? Then lift the left knee as close to your chest as high as you can. Tall spine, plug into the right leg, down through the heel. Breathe. Take your arms wide. Sweep the knee wide. Stand that left foot on a box, push down into it, get taller even still. Collar not by craning your chin, but by reaching the base of the skull through the crown of the head. Very good, another breath. Did we do anything else? I don't think so. Step it back to center, drop it down, shake it off. Take your hands to your hips and give yourself a little hula hoop here. And the other way. Good. Stand up, reach up. Grab your right wrist, soften your knees, and launch up in a side bend to the left. Now, my feet were a little wide, so whatever suits you, but get those feet hip width and parallel. And then this launch, I just want you to check that you're A, not collapsing your low back like this as you launch. Also B, you're not collapsing into one hip like this as you launch, or leaning into the other hip as you launch. Steady 50-50 weight over feet. Launch up from that 50-50 connection. And check that you're not forward bending or back bending or rotating your shoulders one way or another as best you can. Everything's parallel like you're against a wall. Excellent. Release those arms down. Shrug your shoulders again. Take your left arm, or reach up again, grab your left wrist with the right hand. Soften your knees. Give yourself a launch up and over to the right. Think of lifting your left long side over your strong right side. Steady 50-50 weight in feet. No jaw or neck tension that's unnecessary. Breathing, noticing, pausing. One more breath. Good. Release that down. Shrug your shoulders out. Come to the front of your mat if you're not there. So I'm going to make this the front of my mat. So coming to the front of the mat, take your arms overhead. Take your hands to your heart as you lift your right knee to your chest. Now, keep your right knee where it is. Turn your chest right and open your arms. You could have your eyes still forward. It may help your balance. See if you can extend your right leg straight forward. Now, this position, we're going to swing our right leg back, our right hand forward, and our left arm back. Rotate all the way, right leg back, right arm forward, left arm back. Come back up and rotate the opposite way again. Right leg forward, left arm back, forward, right arm back. So it's a big windmill of all the limbs that are free. Windmill the arms again, legs again, free. Inhale back up one more time. Right leg back, right leg forward rather, left arm forward, right arm back. Language is harder than the body sometimes. And then swivel the other way, right arm forward, right arm back, right leg back, left arm back. Bend your left knee, step back, find a twisted lunge here. Your right arm is forward, right leg is back, turn your chest left as far as you like. Then windmill it all the way, open the arms until you're in warrior two. Wonderful, dropping your right heel. Then straighten your left leg, find an exalted triangle, lifting your left arm. Good. Then lunge your left knee deep, go to side angle, putting your left elbow on your knee. Take your right arm along your ear. Excellent. Come back to exalted triangle. Left arm up, straight left leg. Now, can we look at our right foot and make it more of a side bend than a back bend? So your left ribs are really the goal, or left side body is the goal, not the back body. Stay in this orientation, but just lunge your left knee to add a little more. So exalted warrior two now, basically. And Becky, I'm seeing still more back bend than side bend, I think. So rotate your left, yes, yes, left ribs, yes, good. Now windmill back to side angle, put your left elbow on your knee, your right arm along your ear. Keep that left knee right over its heel. The toes are pointing straight forward. Left knee straight forward. Wrap the right arm around your back now. Put the back of your hand on your sacrum, or clasp the top of your left thigh with your right fingertips. So it'll look like this, possibly. Or here. See if you can rotate your chest more open to the ceiling that way, or the sky, wherever you're looking up. Then convert this to triangle pose, straightening your left leg, placing a left hand on your shin or thigh or ground. Triangle pose, keeping your right hand behind your back. Wonderful. Lean your heart back in line with your pelvis, in line with the line between the two heels. Your heels make a line. Can you hover over that line? Let gravity see as little of you as possible, or the ground as little of you as possible, except through that line. Good. Soften your left knee, windmill your right arm around. Place your both hands framing your left foot in a lunge. Swivel your right heel up over its toes. Leave your right hand down. Take a big circle of the left arm forward and twist open to the left. And then around back behind you, down by the left hip. Then alongside your left shin, then forward again. Do 3 big circles this way, slowly turning your chest open to the left and to the floor, back and forth. After your 3rd big circle, take the left arm to the sky and just find a nice big crescent, or sorry, revolved runner's lunge type of deal here. Release your left hand to the ground, step your left foot back to down dog. Come forward to plank pose. Soften your knees to the floor or not, and lower yourself all the way to the ground through plank to the floor. Once you reach the ground with your belly and everything else, point your toes, put the tops of the ankles on the ground, keep them there. Reach your sitting bones towards your heels so your pubic bone pushes into the ground. Keep that as you lift your heart up. Low cobra. Legs are strong as a cobra tail from the pelvis to the toes. Space is being added to the low back as your belly is hugging in and your sitting bones are reaching to your heels. And your pubic bone is pushing down. Can you float your hands from here and fly them back along your hips? Keep the back of the neck nice and long. Either stay here or swim your left arm forward as your right arm is back. And then the opposite way, and just keep swimming those arms. Feet are still down, pelvis is still pushing down. Back of the neck still long. If you're getting an enjoyable back bend with support in your hands on the ground, that's fine too. Do what suits you here, but I'm encouraging warming up the back body here. Just like a surfer on a board here. Maybe both arms finish forward just for a final cherry on top, and then rest your forehead to the backs of your hands, bend your knees, rock your hips and shins left and right, and breathe as deep as you like. Soften into gravity as much as you can. Reconnect with that compassionate container of yourself. Let it receive this rocking. Release your legs, place your hands, push to plank pose or hands and knees, and down dog. Pedal your heels. Now we're going to take the left leg high. 3-legged dog, just reach as high as you can with the left leg. And then draw your foot forward and step it as far forward as you can. Keep your back heel up. We're going to windmill back to the revolved lunge here. Left arm behind us, right arm forward, coming up. So that we we finish the full sequence by finishing with the same path that we took getting into it. So now we're going to windmill forward, launch to your left leg, reach your right leg forward, see what you can do. Lean out, see if you can first lift your right leg, then rotate, windmill everything. Your right leg will go forward, left arm forward, right arm back. Then bend your right knee, take your hands to your heart, turn facing forward, step down. Just for fun. Good work, shake it off. All right, I'm gonna go for the other side. Have fun with your body here. Yeah, just try to notice if there are tendencies in your mind to scold any part of you. Try not to scold yourself, it's not gonna help you. Think of it as curious learning and playfulness in what your capacities are and where they can grow, and courageous confronting of those capacities as well, yeah? I'm obviously not doing this stuff perfectly myself. It's totally fine. Anyway, let's lift, let's see. Let's go up with the arms and lift the left knee. And then hands to your heart with the left knee lifted. And turn your chest left and open your arms. Then extend your left leg if you like for a little extra work. Then we're going to rotate everything, windmill 3 times. Right arm back, left leg back, left arm forward. Rotate into sort of a revolved half moon type pose. I got a window in my way, so I'm not able to reach my left arm forward. Go reverse again, back up to the first position. Then windmill the other way, back to the second position. Whatever you can do. Keep fighting for your balance. Windmill back up, first position. All the way around the second position to finish the 3 times. And then step back, left foot. Revolved lunge. Very good. Big revolved lunge. Then windmill the arms. Swivel the left heel down, warrior 2. Then exalted triangle, straighten the right leg, lift the right ribs, lift the right arm. Then to your side angle, right elbow on the knee, left arm along the ear. Pretty sure. Hoping that's true. Good, good. I'm turning this way so I can see you all. Good work. Back up to exalted triangle, I believe. This time making it more of a true right side stretch, if you like. Keeping that exalt, lunge your right knee for exalted warrior 2. See how much you can wrap your left ribs behind you, your right ribs around to face directly forward. Making your right knee, also making sure your right knee isn't falling to the midline, but open right over the heel. So a lot of times that right knee will go into the middle, try and keep it wide. Very good. Side angle, right elbow on your knee, left arm along your ear, just to start there. Then your left arm will go around the back here in a second. Now take your left arm around your back, place the back of the hand on your sacrum, wrap the fingers over the top of the right thigh. See if you can enjoy any more rotation, turning towards the sky here with your side angle. As you do so, just make sure you're not totally collapsing that low back. Keep filling it out, reaching your sitting bones towards your left heel, for example. So it's not a big sway back. It can be a natural curve rather than a, overdone curve. Go ahead and straighten your right leg. Stay with the left hand back there. Triangle pose with this bind. Looking up, yes, or down, but your neck safely here. Lean your heart back, but not necessarily a back bend. Good, one more breath, good. Go ahead and lunge your right knee, windmill your arm, left arm all the way around inside your right foot, swivel your left heel up, take your right arm and take a windmill of the right arm now. Forward, high, back by the right hip, down. We're in this runner's lunge, rotating here to the right. Inhale up, exhale down, 3 circles. When your right arm gets to the sky the 3rd time or 4th time, whichever it happens to be, pause there in this rotated runner's lunge. One more breath. Wonderful, everybody. Good. Place your right hand around your right foot. Both hands frame that right foot. Step back with your right leg to down dog. Forward to plank pose. I'm going to invite chaturanga halfway down. Can we go halfway down and hold? Your knees could be down or up. Pause halfway in your, basically your push-up lowering, and hold. Keep your shoulders wide as best you can. In this pose, can you imagine pushing the floor through the foundation of the building? You're not changing your position. You're just trying to activate to push that floor more into the ground. Then release yourself all the way to the ground. Rest your forehead on the backs of your hands. Bend your knees, rock your hips and shins left and right. Nice big, long breaths. Keep your knees bent, flex your ankles. Try and make 90-degree angles at your knees. So just imagine whatever that is for you. You may not have to, you don't have to look back to see it, but just imagine your feet are right over your heels. We're going to activate our glutes and our hamstrings similar to how we did in our squats, our chair pose type action there, or rather our half forward bends, I should say. We had our soft knees, activate the hamstrings onto the backs of the legs, activate your glutes, and see if you can push your feet straight to the sky. Your knees may float, they may not. It's like you're pushing your feet up underneath a piano bench or a piano and pushing that piano up with your feet as best you can. Imagine there's some weight on those feet that you're pushing into the sky. Keep that and see about lifting your heart a little bit. So you're in a forearm lift and your knees are lifting and you've got your ankles flexed and your glutes and hamstrings flexed, activated. If you like, float your arms into a full skydiver type pose, lifting your heart, squeezing shoulder blades together in the back. Not craning your chin forward, but keeping the back of the neck long, keeping those active calves, hamstrings, glutes, etc. One more breath. Then take a rest. Maybe your legs are long and you just swivel, shimmy your hips left to right. One more back bend here. You are welcome to play with bow pose, grabbing your ankles. You're welcome to do more of an active back body strengthener by not grabbing your ankles. You're welcome to just do Sphinx or something much gentler if you're not hungry for a deeper back bend. If you're reaching your arms back, feel free to activate first. Keep those glutes and hamstrings active. Even if you do grab your ankles, it's going to be active hamstrings and glutes. So there's some energy trying to pull your heels towards your buttocks, even as you're using your thighs possibly to stretch your shoulders by pushing your ankles away from your shoulders, if that makes sense. We want, at least I find it much more integrating, if you're in bow, to keep those glutes and hamstrings strong, stabilizing the back. Almost so much so that if your hands are holding your ankles, you could let go and everything would stay in exactly the same place. Stay another couple breaths, whatever back bend you've chosen. And then take a rest. Nice work. From here, since that was quite a bit of back bending, just gently push up to hands and knees and put your hips back over your heels and just go to short prostration. And we have to finish out what we started. So you're in this short prostration, come back to down dog, and take your right leg high. From there, step your right foot forward as far as it can go. From there, windmill up into a revolved lunge. Right arm back, left arm forward, turning to the right with your chest. From here, try to pass through the sequence that we did at the very beginning. The opposite direction though, of course. Leaning forward, get your weight onto your right leg. Maybe you spring load your legs. Try and launch up in this rotation. Start in the rotation. Once you're standing on your right leg, your left leg is back, your left arm forward, your right arm back. Rotate everything until those limbs are all in the opposite direction as you're standing up. Your left leg is forward, your right arm is forward. Then bend your left knee. So it's hanging out there, hands to your heart, turn your chest to center, step down. Excellent. Whatever position works for you to go wide-legged on your mat, whether you're facing me, try to get it so you can still see me is all I'm saying. But go wide legs in your mat. Soften those knees. In fact, soft knees and slump the spine and let your low back get its, the curve that it's, you know, it may want here, but not one we want to live in. And straighten out your legs. Take your arms wide and overhead, inhale. Hands down the midline, soften those knees in forward fold, send your hips back, and find your wide-legged forward bend. We'll just do a quick little half forward bend on inhale, forward fold on exhale, back and forth 2 more times. Lifting your heart halfway, inhale, forward fold, exhale. When you get to the forward bend the next time, walk your hands to your left leg and hug your belly towards your left thigh. Turn, rotate your left ribs more towards the sky as you roll your right ribs under your left thigh somehow. So we're twisting forward bend. Try and keep your right hip still square back to the right. So we're not letting our hips follow. Just that, and then walk the other way. Walk your hands to the right leg. Keep your left hip back square with the right, but rotate your chest to face your right thigh. Your left ribs may try and reach towards the inner right thighs. Your right ribs turn more towards the sky. So revolved forward bend with wide legs. Release that. Place your hands on the floor, heel toe your feet in until they're squat distance and drop your hips down to a squat. See if your heels can stay down. If they don't stay down, maybe you either come up to where your hips, wherever your heels do stay down, or you put your heels on some blanket or something. Get your spine nice and tall in this squat. I'll turn to give a little more length in your low back. We'll do one more little rotation here, and then we'll be done. Fly your right arm inside your right shin. Take your left arm open to the sky like you're drawing a bowstring back from your right hand. Twisting, squat. Try and open your shoulder, or squeeze your shoulder blades together, open your collarbone. Good. Switch sides. Left arm is a kickstand in front of the left shin. Draw bowstring back to the high right with the right arm. Open your chest as best you can. Root your sitting bones down. Keep your weight on your outer edges of your feet by hugging your insteps up. So you're trying not to collapse the insteps. Good, release that and sit. And orient yourself to the front of your mat again. Yeah. And extend your legs, rock your knees left and right. Time moves so quick sometimes and so slow other times. It's a fluid world these days. I really want to do an incline here. So one way would be this, or straight-legged version, this. Feel free to play with an incline plank or a reverse plank or what have you. I should talk you through it if you want. Feet to the floor, lift your pelvis. If you're going for tabletop, I want your feet under your knees, not too close to your hands. And this way you can get more open. If you're going for the plank version, you can start with your toes pulling back, flexed ankles completely as you lift your pelvis, and then maybe point your toes and see if you can get your toes to the floor as you lift your heart up and over your chin, looking back. Give it another breath. And then release. Hips down safely. Lengthen spine and forward fold towards bent knees to start with that. Just a bent knees to start, and then if you like, extending your legs and give yourself gentle forward bend, unless you want it more vigorous. Your choice. Slowly unfurl from there and we will roll down to our backs slow. If you're needing more care, use your hands and brace yourself down. If you'd like, hug your belly in and go a little more final hug of the body. Center line here, belly into low back, tailbone reaching to heels, laying each vertebra down in its own time. And each one after that a little further away than it might have landed if you didn't try and reach it far away from the laying down. Once you've laid yourself on the ground, rest. If you're hungry for any particular things at this point, feel free to do the ones that most attract you for a few moments. Supine twists would be one, classic finishing pose, allowing gravity to give you the twist. So if you do so, pause on your supine twist with the knees falling one direction for 3 breaths. If you are doing something else symmetrical, feel free to do that for a few breaths, like happy baby, bridge pose. If you're in your supine twist, go the other way. When you've done about even on both sides of any asymmetrical thing, maybe finish here with supine bound angle with the soles of your feet together, your knees falling in a diamond shape wide, resting on your back. Maybe you place one hand on your belly and one on your heart, eyes closed, and just attend to the whole system, all the things that have passed through your mind, through your body, through your heart. Trust that they're all constructive to your path. They're all serving you one way or another. And breathe to receive all of it. And when you're ready, just extend one leg and then the other for Shavasana pose, resting your arms by your sides, or any other shape that your body prefers for resting. Maybe a heavy sigh or two will signal to your nervous system to let go in places that it hasn't yet. Keep resting until you hear the bell. Deepen your breath. Take your time to move and stretch. You might roll wrists and ankles and engage fingers and toes. Stretch out your arms and legs or hug in. You might keep your eyes closed as you make your way up to a seat. Once you're in a comfortable position, set your hands together at your heart. Soften into gravity with an exhale. Bow to your heart and bow to what touches it, that which you dedicated your practice to. Excuse me. And find gratitude for the life force that you're shepherding on this journey in this universe at this time. Gratitude for the communities we build with our life forces and connections we make to what matters to us. We'll chant a final Om in honor of all that. Inhale. I bow to the light in your heart. It's the same light in my heart. Namaste. Have a wonderful day. Thanks so much for joining today.